Hey everyone, this is Eric Romero at Your Castle Real Estate. I have a couple of things I want to cover today. Two topics. One topic's real estate related, the other one is just purely a bonus topic, and that is the concept of the green right turn arrow. When you are in the right hand lane, you pull up to the intersection and there's an arrow, it's green, points to the right. That means you can go. It functions similar to the left turn green arrow, it just points the other way. So, anyway, I came up today while I was driving, so I just thought I would put that out there. The other topic we're going to talk about is negotiating, primarily around negotiating a home inspection when a buyer's buying a home. So the Colorado contract to buy and sell allows the buyer to do an inspection, and if they see things they want the seller to repair, they can object. And we as brokers really shouldn't tell the buyer what they should or should not object to. I'm a believer in the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. So, generally speaking, to me, if I were a buyer, I would object to the things that if they weren't fixed, I would not buy the house, right? And then the other side of that is, as a seller, don't just have that reflex no. Sometimes buyers will give you a longer list than what you might want to see, and sellers in many cases just shut it down and they say no, we're not going to do anything. That's usually not a good move either. Market's still very strong, sellers still have a slight advantage, but buyers do have some choices, and we have seen more deals than maybe normal because the buyer does have a choice, and if they feel like they're going to have to put a lot of money into the property after they close, they might let the contract terminate and move on to another property. So as a buyer, I recommend picking things that are deal killers for you. And then as a seller, even if you have to sleep on it at night, don't just say no, we're not going to take care of anything, because likely those will come up with the next buyer. Not to mention the fact that once you're aware of things, you would also have to disclose those to the next buyer. So you're going to have to deal with them at some point anyway. That's not saying you have to fix everything the buyer asks for. It's just that you would now have a list of things that you have knowledge of that you'd have to disclose in the future. So when you're a buyer, you put together your list of things. I think you have to be careful not to completely overwhelm the seller. Now, if it's a property you end up not wanting to buy, you can always terminate. But when the list gets too long, sellers do tend to have that reflex, no, I'm not going to do anything. And I've heard buyers say, well, yeah, but maybe they'll do some of it. That strategy's not real effective. That's the whole split the difference. Well, if I come in here and the seller wants this, then maybe we'll meet somewhere in the middle. That doesn't work. It's if you're buying a $1 million property and you offer $1, you're not going to split the difference and settle at 500, right? It just doesn't work that way. So be a little realistic as the buyer, put together the list of things you want. Sellers don't overreact. And sometimes you might need a little bit of time as a seller. You might be willing to fix an item, but you want to get a bid first. If that's the case, just try to work together with the buyer, extend out a resolution deadline so that you have time to figure out what things are going to cost. Anyway, that's really all I have to say on that topic. Hopefully, it's valuable in some way. Have a great weekend.